Hi everybody, just got home from work. I'm in the mood for some brownies, so we're gonna bake some brownies today. And I got some Duncan Hines brownie mix. Reading the box in the back, if you want to make them fudge-like, it says to use 2 eggs, or if you like them cake-like, you can add 3 eggs. But I prefer them to be fudge-like, so I'm gonna go with 2 eggs, just to let you know. So the first thing we're gonna do is start by preheating the oven. And it says for metal pans 350 and for glass pans 325. I happen to be using a metal pan, so we'll go ahead and set the oven to 350. We'll let that preheat while we're doing everything else. And so I'm going to show you a little trick as far as greasing the pan to make it so the brownies don't stick to the side really nice. They come right out. I like to get a little bit of butter. Grab about a half a stick of butter when it's soft and just rub it right on the inside of the pan. You don't have to use a lot. Just a light coating, but it's important that you get it everywhere, even up the sides. So what I do is I like to just rub it around, not getting it everywhere, but just getting enough, and then I use my hands, my finger, to kind of spread it around. I don't know if you can see that. Ensuring that you get it in every spot in the pan. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a heavy coat, just a light film is plenty. So I've gone ahead and done that. Just putting a light film of butter. Wipe my hands. And what you do is you get a little bit of flour and you add it to the pan, just a little bit. A little bit of flour. And you kind of knock it around. You want to knock it everywhere. Get a light coat of flour all around the pan. Just knock it, knock it. Your pan should have a nice white film. Nice white coat when you're done. I'm going to add a little bit more because I'm a little dry in one spot. And that looks good. What I'm going to do is all the excess I'm going to remove from the pan. You don't want any excess flour, so I'm going to flip it upside down over the sink. I'll be right back. So now our pan is greased and floured and it's ready to go. We can start preparing our brownie mix. First thing I'm going to do is crack 2 eggs in a bowl, ensuring that I don't get any shells. And thankfully I didn't get any shells. We'll put that off to the side. Now we can proceed to open up the brownie mix and read the directions. And it says to empty the brownie mix into a bowl, which we have right here. So we'll proceed to do that. It also calls for a quarter cup of water and a half a cup of oil. So we're going to start with the water. Got a bottle of water here. Measure out a quarter. That should be perfect. We'll add that in. Calls for a half a cup of vegetable oil. Open that right up. Pour out a half cup. And that looks good. We'll add that right to our bowl. Now we can add our eggs that we previously cracked. That's good. And now it says to mix to beat it about 50 strokes. So I got a mixer here. We're just going to mix it up good for a minute or so, just until everything's blended together with the mixer. But if you don't have a mixer, you could use a spoon. It doesn't matter. Keeping it on a low speed. Want to make sure there's no dry pockets. Starting to look really good. I think that's fine. Pulling the mixer out slowly so we don't whip batter all over the place. We'll remove our mixers, place those in the sink. So now we can start to pour our mix right into the greased and floured pan. I like to try to get it right in the center of the pan. And then it can find its way. We can tap the pan if we have to get it to evenly spread. It's nice to have the rubber spatula to assist you with getting all the batter from the sides. This way you don't waste. What phone? My phone? It's a bad time to ask me for something. Where is it? I have to do this now. The mix is already finding its way to the corners. So now I'm just gonna kind of pound it out a little bit. Thank you very much for the comment. I appreciate it. Yes, you can lick the spoon. Absolutely. Come on over. Yes, we will be eating some brownies shortly, hopefully. So now, we're going to mix that batter. Trying to get that batter to spread. It's very thick, but I like the brownies very chewy. So there we go. Now we can place them right into the oven. Middle rack, center of the oven. And it says to cook them for 31 to 34 minutes. So we'll set the timer for about 28 minutes. We'll go from there. Oh, you put foil on your stove too? Yeah, I do that because I cook so much, and it's a real hassle when you get something on there really hard. This way you just peel it off and you start over fresh. So it is a good idea. It's good that somebody else does it besides me. So now we can just clean up a little while we're waiting for our brownies to cook. I'm going to place this in the sink. I'll be right back. Want me to tell everybody? So we are going to stay live as we're cooking the brownies. So if you'd like to stay and join us until they're done, I welcome you to do that. And I'll just be cleaning up and we'll just wait and see how it goes. Here, sir. Here. Oh, I got another one. I'll have to try that sometime. I do like peanut butter, so that would be a good idea. Somebody suggested that I add peanut butter chips. Can you tell us a story? Can you tell us a story? There was one time that when I first started baking, I was trying to make a pumpkin pie, and I didn't realize it. I was really young. I was like 10 years old, but I tried my hardest to do it, but I had forgotten the main ingredient. So the pumpkin pie, I did everything I could. I thought it was right. I got it all in the pot. I had it all in the pan, got it ready, put it in the oven, and it would never cook. Because I forgot that one main ingredient, the pie would never set up. And I just waited. I kept cooking it. I cooked it until it was black. And I took it out, and when my mom later on was like, "What happened?" I said, "I was trying to make a pie, Ma, and I don't know what I did wrong. And she went over it with me and said, oh, you forgot this, that, and the other. And I'm like, ah. And that's what, but I never got discouraged, you know. I just kept trying, and, you know, I do enjoy baking. And so, you know, I just kept at it, and here I am. Ah, excuse me. Oh, I prefer bacon. Bacon is my thing. You know, I like to cook. I like being in the kitchen, but definitely I prefer to bake. I don't know why. It's just something about it. The first time you made gravy, it was a break. Yeah, it's kind of a little discouraging, but then, you know, once you look back at it, you're like, oh yeah. And it's usually something simple that the mistake was, so it's not a big deal. I would like to try to make some muffins eventually. I think I'm gonna put that on my list to do. Make some blueberry muffins one day, or some, yeah, probably blueberry chocolate chip, something like that. But those peanut butter chocolate chips do sound good. I'm gonna turn the oven light on. Where's the oven light on this? Right. See how we're doing. Oh yeah. I can't wait till these are done. Nice cold glass of milk. Beautiful. I've never heard of that milk. Is that a brand or is it a special kind of milk? Oh, it's a mix. I'm sorry. I thought you said milk. I'm sorry. But I'll have to give this one a shot. Oh, the double chocolate? Nice. So is that double chocolate the mix, or is double chocolate you actually frosting the brownie? Oh, it's moist. I've never made potato casserole, but I'm sure if I gave it a shot, I could do it. I don't think I've ever even had it. I've had potato salad, but not casserole. It's the mix, yeah, okay. A banana nut mix. Yeah, I do have two kitchens. It's an older home, so I have a main kitchen, and then I have a smaller kitchen off the kitchen, where the sink is and the countertop. So, I do. Someday I'd like to open the kitchen up to make one kitchen. My neighbor has the same home, and that's what they did, and it's a really nice setup, but it's very expensive. Um, in the beginning, I used 2 eggs because I wanted it fudge-like. If I used 3 eggs, it would have been cake-like. I used a 1/4 cup of water and a 1/2 cup of oil, vegetable oil. And that's it in the mix. Did you catch how I greased the pan? With a light coat of butter, you spread it all around. You put a little bit on the pan, you spread it around everywhere, even the sides with your fingers. After that, just a light film, you add a little bit of flour and you knock it around the pan just to get a light coating, and then you tap it upside down over the sink to get the excess flour out, and your brownies will never stick. I mean, I shouldn't say never. I've never had them stick, but I guess it's the first time for everything. But last time I made them, they came right out of the pan. Beautiful. I can demonstrate to you how to actually grease the pan. I'll grease another pan, then I'll just wash it. This is a loaf pan. If I was making like a small banana bread or something like that, I would use this. So I usually just take the stick of soft butter and I rub a little on each corner and a little in the middle, just to get a little bit on there. Then I use my fingers to spread it around. You don't want to use much. You don't want to get it to the point where when you bake it that the butter will burn. It's a light film. That's all you need. This is just to hold the flour. That's its purpose. I didn't mention that before, but I'll mention it now. The purpose is to hold the flour of adding the butter. So in essence, I guess if you had some cooking spray, I've never tried it, but I guess I could try that. I could save my hands from getting all greasy. But I don't know, butter works, so I'll probably just stick to that. So now that we got that light film all the way around the pan, we'll just add some flour, a little bit of all-purpose flour. And we're just going to kind of knock it around. And you really do want to make sure you get every little area, or the best you can. And I got it pretty good. You are going to make a mess when you do this. It's just how it is. So now all the excess flour, you're going to flip the pan upside down and tap it in the sink. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's how the pan should look when you're done. And seems to work for me. I don't know. It's just something I've always done. Excuse me while I wash my hands. You back? Okay. Well, sorry about that. We had a problem with the phone, so now we're switched over to an iPad. So, hope you're still joining. You need time for a second? Okay, he's back. I'm doing fine, thank you. I hope you're doing good. All right. I don't know where you guys are, some of you guys are joining us from, but we're out here in Rhode Island, and it was like a summer day today. It was like close to 90 degrees. Yeah, we can show you the temperature in the kitchen. It's been cold for a while, but I don't know what happened today. I could use that 2 mil. I would have quite the kitchen. I'd have cameras in my oven. So that would be good for me. I'll have to start working out. Maybe we'll do some workout videos.
Dave, did I do something wrong here? Oh, yeah, alright. Is this, right? Okay, thanks. Sorry, my son takes care of all the technicals, so. Yeah, I don't have central air, and I had air conditioners in the window, but I thought the summer was over, so I put them away, unfortunately. But hopefully this is just a one-day thing. If not, I'll be carrying them up from the basement. I got a wooden skewer here, so I can, as the brownies, I start to smell them, and I can check them. You stick them in the pan, and then if it's, you know, the mix sticks to the skewer, then you know it's not ready yet. But if it goes right in and comes out clean, then you'll know it's done. Dave. Also, I don't know if you're still watching, Ryan. It does make a difference if you're using a glass pan or a metal pan as far as the temperatures. Because I'm using a metal pan, so I had set the temperature to 350, and if you use a glass pan, you set it to 325. So I want you to remember that. And in the back, it's convenient because it tells you the size pan you're using. You just go by the size, and it tells you how many minutes you got to cook it for. So. The one pan I never like to use when I make brownies is the 13 by 9. I either go with the 9 by 9 or an 8 by 8 because the 13 by 9 just makes the brownies too thin. And I'm having a brownie, I want to bite into something. So. Plug it in. Oh. Yeah, it's not haunted. I don't have a wraparound porch, but it has nice hardwood floors, and you know, it's a bungalow. It's a nice house. It's a solid house. You know, it's a lived-in house. You know, so but it is nice. It has some nice trim around the wood, nice woodwork, and it is a nice house. Thank you very much for your compliment. What's this? Oh, is that it? Okay. Yeah, I want some brownies too. I can't wait till they come out. I gotta invest and buy a second pan so I can make a double batch. But when I get a chance, I'm gonna buy a second pan. I did go out and buy another muffin pan. Actually, I said I was gonna do that in my last muffin stream, and I did go out and buy one so I can show you the pan I picked up. So now I have two. This way I can finish them in a box in one cooking and not have to wait. And you know, it's good to save time with work and all. You know, you get busy and it's good. Oh, I didn't even realize they fit into one another, so that's even better. Saves me space too. I actually went out and purchased these. These are nice, heavy, thick cake pans. And I got these at, believe it or not, Burlington Coat Factory. And they're made in America, which is what I like too. That's also where I picked up my glass measuring cup. And I also picked up these small sheet pans, but they're extremely heavy. They're thick, so when you get a nice even bake. When you buy your bacon, your bakeware, don't go for those thin, cheap sheet pans. You want something heavy, thick, preferably made in the United States. You know, I'm not saying you got to keep them forever. When they start getting worn out, you can get new ones. People do get them recoated. I don't know why. For the price they cost, you might as well just buy new ones. But go with the heavy ones. But I bought these because I want to eventually make pizzas, homemade pizzas with my son. So we'll do that one day. We'll make a bunch of toppings. We'll get some cheese. We'll have some fun, you know, and we'll make some pizzas. Favorite saying is better than nothing. Oh, you're gonna run to the store for some brownie mix? Oh, what box? Well, the pancake batter. I was using the Aunt Jemima, but I'm actually going to try this one, this buttermilk complete. I've used it before in the past, and it's at a store that's close to my house called Aldi's. I don't know if you have them out by you, but I've used it before and it's actually very good. So I'm going to try this again. I used to use it before. If it's still the same quality, I'm gonna go with this. So I'll be making these. I'll probably be doing another stream of brownies. Maybe not in the near future, but eventually I will be. Because somebody suggested to me to make, a friend of mine said to make brownie, banana pancakes by actually adding the bananas directly to the mix, which sounds good, rather than, as opposed to cutting them up at the end and eating them that way. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to make up a batch of a batter, and I'm actually going to do a stream and try it with what he said, by smashing up the bananas actually in the batter and see how it comes out, because I'm a big fan of bananas, so I don't see how it wouldn't work. Well, when it comes to the brownie mix, I like Duncan Hines. When I make my cakes, I use Duncan Hines cupcakes. I'm a big fan of Duncan Hines products. And I always keep, you know, in the winter, it's good to keep, you know, when you see this on sale, pick up 2 or 3, you know, and keep them in your closet in your room or something, in an extra closet corner, because it doesn't go bad. And, you know, when it's snowing outside and you feel like doing something, and then, you know, you can just pull out a box and make brownies, you know, on a cold day, or make a cake, whatever you want to do. It's just nice to have it in the house and have all the ingredients you need ready, so you can ready to go. Go out and buy your pans, and then you're all set. So I'm gonna just take a look in the oven and see how it's going. And I just poked the brownie, and as you can see, it's still sticking to the skewer, so we're not even close yet. But I did check it. And I gotta find the cap to this oil. Next time, because I'm sweating. But I will. Okay. Let's see if anybody's. Oh. Hmm. They're rising nicely. I'm just peeking in at them. They're coming up nice. So, what? Well, I think I've been, you know. So hopefully you guys are ready for a brownie when these come out. I know I am. So let's see. 887 Productions. What kind of home do you live in? Do you have a haunted house? Tell me about your place. Okay, so the timer says I only have a couple minutes left, but I think it's going to take longer than what it says. And that's pretty common sometimes. They rather give you a time in the beginning that's that's undercooked than overcooked. So, and for good reason. You don't want to do all that work and then you set the timer and then it's burnt and you're at the lowest number. So. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, things I like to cook are like my favorite thing to cook. One of them is lasagna. I do enjoy making lasagna. You know, I like to make burgers, and I got to be doing a video. It's just hard finding the time, but I do want to make a video soon of making burgers, and you know, what's up? The big thing with bacon and cooking is just like I said, it's finding the time. But once you do it a couple times, and then you can streamline it, and you have all your stuff prepared. You know, you do your shopping, you make your list, you go in knowing what you want to have. You know, it makes it a lot easier. So the timer's going off for the brownies, so I'm going to shut it off. And I guess we'll check it again. And it's coming up, but it's still a little moist, so we're going to give it a few more minutes. Put a few more minutes on the timer. put 3 minutes. Making sure that it says bake, because that's a funny story too. One time I was baking some, I don't remember exactly what I was baking, but I went to set the timer and I actually turned the oven off. So to my surprise, after the timer went off, boom. I went to go check it and I'm like, what? And it was still batter. So, you know, these are things that can happen. So you just want to check and make sure that the oven's still on. Is anybody watching? Oh, how's that? Okay. Starting to get that nice smell in the house. Nothing like the smell of fresh baked goods. So has anybody else ever had a disaster in the kitchen? Or is it just me? One time I started cooking something and I actually sat down and I was watching TV and I actually forgot that I was cooking. I don't know how I did that when I was cooking on the stovetop. And I know it's going to be hard to believe, but my cat at the time, she's passed away now, but it was a very good cat, kept coming into the living room, and I wasn't living here at the time, I was living in a different home, and it was meow, would meow, 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 look at me, and then run back in the kitchen, and it kept getting in front of between me and the TV, and I was starting to get aggravated. I'm like, what's wrong with this cat? What is the problem? I never acted like that before. So finally I got aggravated, and I got up and I went in the kitchen to see what the problem was, and I was like, oh, thank goodness, because it was, the kitchen had all smoke in it, the oil had burnt in the pan, and you know, people say animals aren't smart, but I was grateful for that. Saved by a cat. Oh, I love clam boils. Oh yeah, lobster, clams, potatoes. Me and my son go camping. We used to have clam boils all the time. We take all the ingredients with us, and that was our big thing. We actually go and catch the clams ourselves. We actually go right to the waters, local waters next to us, and we would catch what it called out here. They called quahogs. They're like a hard shell clam, and they're very delicious. The smaller ones are very, very delicious. Like, oh yeah, it's got a picture right there. And the timer's going off again, so we're going to check the brownies one more time. And they are almost done. We're going to give it another 2 minutes. Yeah, we'll give it another 2 minutes. I think that's probably going to be it after that. Maybe 2 more minutes, but that I can't see going any more than that. Glad to see Ryan's back. I didn't realize that was actually you that made that comment. Sounds like you're a big fan of cooking, Ryan. He's actually come to my mom's house one time, and we had Alaskan king crab legs, and that was a good day. Because I work in the seafood industry, so from time to time I get something to bring home, and that day I got to bring home some big, giant crab legs, and I invited Ryan over, and we had some good food. Back then I wasn't streaming though, but if I was, I would have streamed it. The timer's going off again, so 2 minutes is actually fast. Give it a quick poke. And it's just a little bit, so we'll give it a little bit more. I'm going to give it 2 minutes, and I'm going to pull it out after that. So as soon as the timer goes off, we're going to pull the brownies out. We're going to set them on top, and we'll let them cool for a little while, and then we're going to see how well they come out of the pan. Hopefully nice. We'll cut one and give it a taste, which is my favorite part. You all right? It's okay. Okay. So we got 1 minute left. Oh, and I can really smell them now. It's right there. I'm going to go ahead and shut the heat off. It's the last minute anyway. It's not going to make a difference. So we will hit cancel. And as soon as the timer goes off, we'll pull it out. And we'll take a look at our finished product. I use ricotta cheese. I use mozzarella cheese, and when I make the sauce, or sometimes my mom will help me make the sauce to save time, so I can make the lasagna on a different day. We use hamburger in the sauce, so onion, garlic, cheese. Cool. You going to a birthday party tomorrow? Nice. And you're making lasagna? Cool. All right, so we're gonna take the brownies out of the oven now. Place them on top. Close that oven because it is hot today. End the timer. And I'll show you the finished brownies. It's just a couple holes from me poking in there, but besides that, I think they came out nice. And the smell is just amazing. I wish you could be here for it. So I'm going to move the brownies away from the oven to let them cool a little bit. Oh yeah. Burgers, caramelized onions. Sounds good. Soon, soon. I gotta go to the market and get some really, really good hamburger. And when I make burgers, I go all out. I go and buy the best provolone cheese that I can find because I think the cheese makes it, you know. I'm a big fan of cheese, so when I get provolone cheese, I go for the best. And I know where it is. I don't know the name, but when I go, I am gonna ask the person at the deli to give me the name of the cheese. This way, if you have it, you know, where you live, you can look for the same brand. But I've tried many different provolone cheeses, but this one is just amazing. I like when the brownies get that nice, like hard, with, you know, a little hard on top. I love that. And as they cool, they just get a little bit more and more firm, you know. I am going to be trying to make brownies again another time, and I'm going to be trying to do different variations with using something substitute for the oil and see how it comes out, because I've heard that there's different things you can substitute, and I think it was applesauce. You can substitute it for some of the oil, and I am going to try it and see how it comes out and taste it, because anytime you can cut back on, you know, some of the oil when you're cooking, it's a good thing. So I will give it a shot, even if I can cut, you know, use a half a cup of that and a half a cup of the vegetable oil. If the brownies still taste similar, I'd rather do that, you know. So I'm all for trying to make things a little bit healthier, you know, if you can. But if the taste is not there, then I'll just stick to how it is. But I will give it a shot. All right, so I'm going to cut into this pan. I'm going to cut out a brownie, and then I'm going to give it a taste. I'm going to show you how it comes out of the pan when you do it the way I suggested. Now, how's that? How's that look? No sticking whatsoever. Look inside the pan. See how it's a little bit chewy on the inside? Just that's exactly how I wanted them. I'm really happy with the way it came out. I'm happy with the way the pan performed. And so I'm going to give it a taste. Delicious. Glass of milk. Nice fresh gallon. Absolutely delicious. Well, to thank you for watching. Until next time, good night. Thank you. Feel free to add comments or anything you want to see me make or suggestions or something like that. I'll always read your comments and suggestions. And I'd like to say thank you for watching and have a good night.